First, I'm going to start off with the very obvious, that exercise improves brain functioning. That's why we have physical fitness in grade school and high school and sports. That's why the people jog in the morning. Successful people, have some kind of exercise to complement their academic regiment. And we have many studies from Harvard and National Institute of Health, of course, several, many publications and media sites and newspapers have reported on this as well. So it's something that we can all agree on, religious person and scientist alike. Exercise improves cognitive functioning. And yes, over time, logically, it evolves superior beings. People that have reached their full potential. My argument is not racial supremacy. My argument is cultural supremacy in truth. And if your brain is functioning properly, you don't have that much chemicals in your brain. You have a high sense of honor, right? Sense of honor, moral sense, mental and spiritual acuity, as opposed to being senseless and selfish. Martial arts is a way of life. It is not a senseless order that is being forged, nor should it be in the favor of one group of people or the other based on that person's racial history of that culture, or even a religious history that cannot be proved with logic, reason, and sense. It is sense that tells us that sparring shows transferable skills for combat, and outmaneuvering involves outwitting, outthinking, and being more wise when it comes to one's regiment and long-term tactics. So we have a form of short-term thinking involved, on the moment, the spur of the moment, spur of the moment, spirit, spear of the moment, if you will. And a long-term lifestyle that is attached, that complements one's ability to think, from moment to moment, to think fast, at God's speed, if you will. So let he who is the top martial artist, for these reasons alone, which are more than satisfactory, determine the way of living for all of us. He is the Pharaoh. He has the fairest direction. And his system gives people the most fair shake. He has a mind that creates a system that gives people the most fair shake. Or he is the continuity of that mind. Either way, it defaults with him. How can any man of reason, or even science, doubt that? Unless he's going to default with his half-assed bitch point of view. This is why scientists cannot determine culture. Certainly not determine which spiritual system is superior to which. Your point of view is void of spirit. It is based completely on this world. Speaking of this world, the man Ebo, the product of Neri, probably would have agreed with them. But he himself is the wrestling product of the elephant bullying other people in various villages, rounding them up and taking on a small group of martial artists in the cult center of Eri, in northern Biafra, if you will. And the result? The challenge changed. The club and the machete changed to the staff. The staff of authority, which went to the old man, and the warrior hero was the young, strong, big man, who in myth is said to not have passed away, but have grown old and faded away to join the ancestors, symbolic of returning to the cycle. An Igwe, or king, never dies. Neither does the pharaoh. And his subjects are said to share his eternal life only when Osiris and his cult democratize the pharaoh's power. Unfairly, I might add, and sacrilegiously. So what we have is the fixed, set stances, political, social stances that accompany it, if you will, versus the hawk strike and the divine recovery. A hawk strikes once, and in his best form, he is tall, and he needs time to recover. Recover, right? Redirect, readjust. Ra, direct. Ra, adjust. Ra, cover what? It hardly needs to, because he outmaneuvers and strikes masterfully. At God's speed, if you will, the peregrine falcon, the fastest animal, not the snake. We talk about reflexes, right? And being cut. Being cut and recovery time are connected. If you need it spelled out or put into words scientifically, you are like an animal that needs a magic spell to understand. How come you don't naturally understand until some scientist spells it out to you? Wouldn't you expect that a warrior would have a natural proclivity, inclination, tendency to bring about warriors who naturally understand and have the accompanying moral code to tell the truth? They have no reason to lie or to cover up. The people that do are snakes. Was it a spell that made you the way you are? Fair enough. Then why does the evil leader still emerge? He sees it that way even though he has a spell on him as well. However, we see the secret societies using the spirit of Amen, the spell breaker, the snake usurper, with Hades' balance. They break the spell by revealing the spell to each other in exchange for helping with the snake order. Talk about technicalities by usurping serpents. We talk about the Ka, the spirit versus the flesh. It's not fair because he's tall. He's athletic. I'm a bitch. Are you not fixating on the flesh? Is the T not the feminine suffix like ba versus bat and ka versus cat? Is it the spirit of the leopard that reminds us of the spirit of the sun? Or is it the color of the leopard's fur? How preposterous that one could possibly even begin to assert that that is the reason why the leopard is associated with the sun. It is the spiritual strength of the leopard. It is a combination of things that allows it to convey it in a martial arts spirit to strike down its prey, get into war shape, mind, body, soul, but most importantly, spirit, which is the spirit of truth and righteousness. And if my line is screened out, you must respect my wishes as above you in the divine order when I say it ends with me. There is a pyramid-shaped order. And those who come before us make it clear to those who come next in spirit. And even if you were not to hear this message through YouTube or wherever, my spirit would still say the same thing. You cannot seed in the spirit of God unless it is through my bloodline. God's design, concede, can seed. The con thinks he can seed. No, he knows he can. He knows he's a con man. Why don't you? Ah, yes. No servant can be greater. Indeed. So when we talk about diet, exercise, thought, defeating evil, with speeches and other forms of intense battle, tension, hypertension, hyper-masculine. Now I want a nice fruit drink or water to make love with passion, or maybe walk it off, and to continue to explore, or maybe rest depending on the duration and intensity of my battle, right? The breezy, right? The breeze touches me oh so softly while I'm still vibrating with the spirit of passion. My energy and spirit are aligned, and it makes me desire a woman's caress. And when I cannot have it, do I not feel heartbroken? Does it not relate to breaking the spirit, since the heart is the seat of intelligence, which allows the creative energy, or rather the creative spirit of God, to flow through me and come up with a solution, a divine solution to the problems that face me in combat and the way of life and the fair reproductive cycle that I am responsible for with humanity, and they are responsible to honor my decisions, which they are not. Reminds me of the Bob Marley song is, I never know what sweet caress is. Yes, I can't sing, but you understand what I'm saying. Bob Marley was not complete without a Pharaoh. He was needed to sing why the Pharaoh was right. And he chose people who are less than Pharaoh, like Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey said it, so let it be done. Well, why didn't you say I said it, so let it be done? Because he conceded he was not a prophet. He was the spokesman for the staff of Ra, which is Eri, the leopard of Ra. Ra staff, Eri. Not the moon temple. The Eri that goes along with Ra, the leopard. The martial arts pharaoh. Shout out to the Jews, by the way. I don't mean to disrespect anybody or their religion at this point. Sometimes I get mad and I get carried away. But my intention is to do the work of God. And if I have been harsh, which I don't think I have been with everything considered and the lack of people standing with me unconditionally, which is how God meant it to be. When we are in battle together as brothers, do you say, on the condition we're winning, I'll stand with you? Or are you ready to die? Even in the movie 300, did they not stand with King Leonidas for the good of the nation? How much more for the good of God? I have orders to bring you to God. And when you disobey, on behalf of your people, as a people, are you not disgraced? Moving on. So when we see the soft rising sun, one of the songs must reflect the soft spirit of the rising sun as he communicates to those who are softer spoken. And one needs to be the midday or news intense war tune. We talk about alcohol, we talk about hops. Hopes, right? A play on words, hopes. You're drinking, right? I was hoping that women would have some sense and some heart, and I would have a suitable helper, mind, body, and soul. And so now I'm drinking instead. I'm fighting the good fight. Where's my suitable helper? If their God is greater than mine, how come mine gives me a suitable helper naturally? And in your concrete jungle with your current movements, you give me nothing but disdain and demanding that I settle in the spirit of cowardice, conformity, and all-around bitch shit. Ridiculous. They say ridiculous. Raw dick, you lose. Apollo. Appall. Appall, the O. Apello. I've gone over this before. Performance. Pour the form of God and see. A. Pour form and CE. The form of the peasant. So when you look at the screen, I show you the form of the man Igbo, elephant who's supposed to support the true leader of Igbo, which is Eri. Eri came down from the sky. He is a sky god. You could say, Zeus, even Zeus in Western culture is a sky god. Jesus says he's the bright morning star. Horus is a sun god and a sky god. Reach for the skies or dig a hole like a bitch and be the Bureau of Investigation or be on some bureaucratic tunnel rat bitch shit. Which one do you want for your kids? And remember, you are all sealing your fate. I am the messenger and the pointing the way. It is not the way for me to say, yes, you can be Pharaoh too with ill-gotten gains. No, I follow the order of God and I deliver the true message of God. I've given them plenty of opportunities to come up with a more effective argument or another way that actually and naturally and supernaturally proves spiritual power. No alchemy, no chemistry, no psychology, nature. Mind, body, soul, spirit. They could not. When they disobey what I say, it is disobeying God. And they cannot even come up with a logical excuse. It is conformity. It is cowardice. It is choosing the same race you have disgraced by defying me and putting them over God. Thank you.